Welcome. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Here's the Deal. I'm Shilo, and I got my trusty co-host with me tonight, Mr. Marvin. How are you?
I am over the full moon.
Over the full moon.
Over the full moon. No, I'm doing pretty good tonight.
Good. And you recently celebrated your 65th birthday last weekend?
45th, you jerk.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's only
So,
like a
how was
minute.
it?
You better watch it.
I had to get a little bit of a jab in there just to fun you with you. So,
Yeah. No, that's good. No, 45th. It was pretty fun.
yeah.
As you know,
Good.
spent the morning running around on Saturday, and then we went out to that new Mexican restaurant here in town. I don't know how new it is, but we went there for supper, and then we went and did some bowling, and then we came home and played some games. So I would call it a successful birthday.
I
And
would say so.
yesterday I got surprised Coogan, so I'm not going to complain about that either.
There you go. There you go. Well, so we haven't been on for a while, and some of that was due to the holidays, and some of that was due to um, some family stuff going on with me and my wife, and her health. And so I just want to take the time to thank the people that have reached out in support of my family and I in this time. And she's on the road to recovery, and I'm not gonna get too much into what it's about in that. She ended up not having to have the surgery, and medication seems to be doing the trick at this point. So we'll just leave it at that. And I just wanted to thank everybody who has reached out to us and helped us in this time of need. And I thank you too, Marvin, and your wife. You guys were real support for us, and I do appreciate that. So, um, but with that,
Well,
I guess
hopefully you didn't disrupt your kids too bad while they were hanging out with us.
no, you didn't, and I'm hoping that they didn't corrupt Kaylin too much. So,
No,
but
we're all good.
yep, no,
It was
I know Landry really enjoyed being around her and having fun, and they got a lot in common. So, but at any rate, I guess it's going to be kind of just a short show tonight. We're gonna go over the next couple shows that we have. I know we have some guests lined up. Obviously, the last time that we were on air, we talked about the Election Integrity Act, and so I guess with that, there was some people that didn't agree with us, and that's okay. We're able to have those conversations. So with that being said, I know on Friday, this coming Friday, we're going to have Michael Coachman and Lydia on again, and we're going to be talking about the Election Integrity Act and our concerns about it and anything else that anybody else wants to know about. So I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to save all of that for when they're on Friday. I'm not going to comment too much about that. So other than that, what else do we got going on, Marvin?
December 5th, we'll have Mark Hare joining us. For those of you that aren't familiar with him, he's with the Center for Self-Governance. He's been pretty involved in North Dakota over the last few years. So I got a chance to finally meet him in person here a couple weeks ago, and we got to chatting, and somehow I talked him into joining the show with us for an evening. So we'll be doing that on December 5th. I don't have anything set up for that following Friday, the 8th. I have a Christmas party at work, so we may be skipping that one, Shilo, or you may be on your own. So, or else we'll pick a different day that week. But other than that, not a lot. Just there's been a lot of moving pieces here the last couple of weeks, not just with election stuff or with family stuff or anything else. It's just well, like the craziness up in Minot.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I know we aren't going to talk a lot about it just because there's been too many varying sources on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know the text went out, we know it's being looked at. Other than that, I can't really confirm much more. So um, every article you read, you're getting different information, and honestly speaking, it's one of those situations where until we have something solid, I don't really want to get into it. I know you had brought that up when we chatted earlier.
Yeah.
uh, I'm
Excuse me.
still plugging away at the donations and the um, scorecards, so we'll have that hopefully in the next week or two, but it's time consuming and tedious, and I want it to be accurate. So, and you know how I am, I won't speak to it until I can actually have everything fully together, or I know all the information on it. So,
Yep.
um,
Excuse me.
other than that, still working on a couple more articles for the website. I'm digging into kind of the mess that's going on right now with the redistricting and the lawsuit that came out about that, and
Mm-hmm.
what kind of direction we're going there, if we're going to end up with another special session or not. Um, it's one of those things where 3 years ago I had already figured it was going to end up in court for gerrymandering. It's just, it'll be interesting to see the outcome. If they're just going to target 2 districts, I know they're challenging it currently, so we're
Mm-hmm.
been a holding pattern there. And then we had the emergency commission meeting, which I still need to go back and rewatch. But I know
And that was today. That's
that
what you're
was
talking about,
today.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know that it was like 1-3 on the listing that they sent was dealing with more money for HAVA compliance.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to um, Senator Magram's bill that Representative Christensen co-sponsored on, with decertifying the machines and HAVA compliance and bringing North Dakota up to standards that
So
other states hold. So
just for people who don't know what HAVA is, can you explain that a little bit?
it's the Help America Vote Act. It came out in, I believe, 2002. It was championed by President Bush. It was supposed to help people to be able to vote, but to create a voting system where essentially you don't run into the flaws that we see. Um, there's all sorts of documentation on it. Um, it's a little bit different than the Voter Rights Act, which is what the state got sued on for the redistricting. But in essence, I'm collecting signatures for both the election integrity and property tax initiatives. Anybody in Williams County would like to sign them, please DM me. I'm going to put this up, Shilo. Oh, you got it already.
Sure.
Perfect. But HAVA compliance runs on kind of a different system. What I had proposed when I was speaking with Representative Christensen on it, instead of the decertifications and the machines that were in that bill that Senator Magrum brought forward, and it's what Cole presented, was bringing the state up to the federal election standards. Because as he pointed out when he was giving his testimony, and again, you guys can go back to the website on the Election Integrity Act. I have this bill linked so you can actually go see it. But the HAVA compliance is like that last step, where North Dakota gets applauded and kind of poked at is our lack of voter registration. We
Mm-hmm.
have voter rolls, but we don't have a true registration form. And that is part of the Help America Vote Act too. So, and you get conflicting stories there too, because you look at Seth Kessel, what was that, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Put out this great big thing about how we have the best voting system, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, if
A
if
lot can go wrong.
a lot can go wrong. There's a lot of holes and there's a lot of faults.
Right.
But so I have to go back and watch that video to see what all they were looking at there too, because it looks like the Secretary of State's office was asking for another $200,000 on top of the million that the Legislative Assembly added to his bill after they shot down Senator Magram's bill. So, but yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on, and just keeping up with it can be a bit of a headache. So
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, when stuff started kind of going out of control with the family and that, because we didn't expect my wife to end up in the hospital, um, I just kind of, that was my focus. So the last couple of weeks has been strictly on family. So yeah, it was actually today when I got the text messages and stuff about the emergency meeting. Again, I don't have any reports back on what exactly happened today or any of that, so I can't really comment on what had happened. But that was pretty much the first real issue since we took our break. So that I've been kind of watching. So,
yeah,
but
well,
I'm
and
looking
it's go ahead.
I'm looking forward to having believe it or not, I am looking forward to having Michael Coachman and Lydia on and discussing the Election Integrity Act um, more thoroughly, and hopefully that we can get all these answers that we're looking for. And sometimes, who knows? We just might have to agree to disagree. So I guess we'll figure that out on Friday, and we'll move on from there. But at any rate, so other than that, any other big plans you got?
Oh, I don't know. There's so much.
Hmm.
Shiloh, it's funny. Um, Before I met Sarah, I actually don't always enjoy doing this. Um,
Yeah.
I could actually go. Before I met Sarah, I would actually take weeks off at a time, just to burn vacation days. I'd literally sit at home and not talk for a week, just
Hmm.
silence, watch movies, play games, not answer or look at my phone, not nothing.
Yep.
And you know, the reason I became vocal was because of everything that was going on in 2020. And it was because I would sit here and I was watching everything that was going on, and I'm like, they're never going to do this. They wouldn't
Hmm.
dare do that. They wouldn't dare do what they did. And I've been really kind of mulling here this last week. It's like you start looking back on things that our government wouldn't dare do. Um, we'll never have masks in North Dakota. 11/13 of 2020, 10 o'clock. Governor announced that they're imposing a mask mandate, that they are going to limit kids' sports. Um, you look at recently this summer, the city of Bismarck gave away millions of dollars of land
Yep.
that's right along the river. They would never do that. They would never give away taxpayer land. And it's we got to stop looking at what they'll never do. We got to quit saying they'll never do this. And we grew up in North Dakota. So many of us voted for the person with the R behind the name for so long because we're in North Dakota. We shouldn't have to worry about it. But election season's coming, folks. It is. And you need to start looking at some of the stuff that's happened where we've said, oh, this will never happen. And then it happened. And then look who voted for you and who voted against you. Because I know we have term limits now, but there's some people that need an early retirement party, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's where, again, candidates, people that are even debating being a candidate, consider it, please, because you never know if you don't try. Hi, Crystal. Nice seeing you too.
Hi, Crystal.
It's been a wild week for us, or a
It
wild 2 weeks.
certainly, you bet it has. Well, on that note, Marvin, I mean, I guess here's where I'm at with it. You're exactly right. I mean, we can't take for granted anymore anything that they will or won't do because, well, for so long, a lot of us in, how do you want to say it? A lot of us in society or just normal, everyday, hardworking Americans, in a way, we've been playing checkers while the government's been playing chess. And I guess when I hear statements like that, um, my thought is well, we never thought it'd get this far either. Because even look how it's changed from the time that we were growing up, even the early '80s, all the way to the '90s until what we have now. I mean, would you have ever thought that there'd be litter boxes in school bathrooms?
That one was a stretch for me.
Yeah. And some of the other stuff that's going on in our school systems. I mean, it's again, pick your battle. I mean, you can go in any direction, but if you talk to some of these old timers, and I mean that in all due respect, I would never try and what's the word I'm looking for here? When I say the word old timers, I would never try and
Discredit,
disrespect. Yeah, disrespect
disrespect.
anybody. But I was talking with family members and stuff that have a lot of years on me, and they said, this has been coming for a long time. This hasn't happened overnight.
Yeah.
And I think that we tend to forget that sometimes. I mean, just to put it in perspective, I'm 43. I just got involved 4 years ago, and I was like everybody else. I've voted since I've been 18, but um, can't say is that I was always a real informed voter, you know. And so I was actually having a conversation with a guy at work today because we were talking about things and insurance and stuff like that, and he's got real heated and disgusted, and he's like, I can't believe that this is what it's come to. We have to fight for everything now, whether it be insurance or he was talking about how much taxes are and how much everything's gone up, and my response was, well, this is why we need to be involved. And he goes, well, for what? Because the average person doesn't know, and they're doing all this stuff, whether they be stealing elections or writing all these laws and different things. What are we supposed to do? I said, well, that's why we get involved and hold their feet to the fire. And if they need to be voted out, that's what we need to do, or however we need to do that. But we need to be involved. We don't have enough people involved right now, and that's where we've gone wrong. And I guess I'll probably kind of die on that hill, whether I'm by myself or not, because that's what I've seen in the last 4 years is people not being involved. I mean, I've got family members out in Minnesota, and I'm not just calling them out. I've got family members everywhere, and friends and acquaintances, and they're just, you start talking about some of the stuff that's going on, they have no clue. They're all focused on what they see on TV. They don't do any of the research or any, digging for themselves. So I uh I hope that we can get more people involved. I really do. So however that however that works. And yes, there's going to be disagreements between like-minded people, and that's all right. I mean, we've already proven that. And you know what? Just I can agree to disagree with people, and we can move on to the next thing. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at with the whole deal.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, let's case in point. Carbon capture. Summit didn't just happen overnight, folks. Carbon capture, carbon pipelines, that stuff didn't just pop up in the last 2 years. That century code 3822 actually was put on our book in 2009. Senator Hogue was actually the one that carried it from committee to floor. So, like, eminent domain and the CO2 pipelines and all that stuff didn't happen yesterday, didn't happen last year. We're talking we're almost 15 years into this process already. So when you look at it from that perspective, like there's so much out there where because we haven't paid attention, we've surrendered too much control. And that's where, again, getting involved, supporting candidates that you trust, supporting transparency from your local boards, from your local city commissions, from your school boards, from your, like, be involved. We shouldn't have to recycle the same conversation once every 5 years. And that's the pattern that we're on now. So, but again, when you have a TV with 700 channels and everything else, like, I get it. I guess that's kind of a big benefit in our house. Like, we're not news people. We're not TV people. I mean, you've spent time with us. There's a movie going, there's a game going, there's something going, but I don't sit and dwell on CNN or Fox because on a national level, I can't fix that. I can help try and fix North Dakota. And when I talk about something, it's not because I want to hear my own voice, because I don't. But I don't like saying I told you so either. I would rather be wrong and have at least said something than be right and said nothing.
Yep.
That makes any sort of sense.
No, I get where you're coming from.
Do you guys know anything about the meeting at the Capitol tomorrow? I do not, Crystal. It was a crazy day, and I'm still catching up. I know there's a school land board meeting on Thursday. I'm not sure what's going on with the one tomorrow.
Does anybody else watching, does anyone know anything about that meeting at the Capitol tomorrow? It'd be interesting to hear if you do. So, and that kind of gets us going too, is to topics and different things that people want us to cover. Go ahead and email us, contact us. You can go to our website and contact us, and we're always up for ideas.
For money. That was today, Crystal. That was the State Emergency Commission meeting that Charles was there for. I'm trying to find the actual link. Yeah, that was the Emergency Commission. That was today. I don't know if they're doing a follow-up tomorrow or not. Like I said, I still need to sit and watch the meeting. I haven't had a chance to do that because they always do this stuff when I'm at work.
Yeah, me too. I was on site, so didn't have time to see what it was about or anything, so, or any results.
So the Emergency Commission, just so people know, it's 4 representatives and then the governor and the Secretary of State. For those of you that are familiar with the old District 8, Jeff Delzer used to sit on the Emergency Commission, and he butted heads with the governor on a pretty regular basis. That's kind of where some of that mess happened, and he went from District 8 with the redistricting to District, is it 31 or 33? Yeah, they redistricted him straight out of his district, which was insane. But it's the district with Keith Boehm.
33.
Anna Novak, and then Bill Tveit.
Yep.
And
So
Yeah.
now, originally, I think wasn't he in District 8?
Yep. He was a District 8 rep
Yeah,
for years and years and years.
and then got moved down to District 33, and then yeah, he got voted out.
Yeah. So I think he even carried the endorsement going into the primary. But we'll that's part of what I got coming up with this article we'll be doing about
Hmm.
redistricting too. Is I'm kind of going district by district and who got moved, who got challenged, who had primary endorsement and was still challenged afterwards. Like the current District 8, you had Dave Naring going from House to challenge Jeff Magrum for the Senate seat after Jeff got the endorsement at the endorsing convention, and that turned into an interesting ordeal too. So,
Hmm.
but we'll touch on some of that too, because some of this redistricting wasn't just about the reservations. I feel so.
Right. I'm
Tons of money.
sorry, I'm looking at comments as they're
Yeah, I
I'm
am too.
listening and looking at comments. So, one thing that we talked about, we kind of spent some time together here and there when we were off air in the last 2 weeks. And one thing that we've talked about is the districting. And
Yep.
so there's 53 districts or 53 counties, right?
Yep.
Let's go down this. Let's talk about this just a
Let me
little bit.
refill my coffee quick.
You're going to fill your coffee? All right.
Give me half a second.
I wish we had a commercial. At
No.
any rate, so
So yeah, we've been talking about districting because it's been kind of a thing of mine for a while.
yeah,
And um,
let's
I've never
just
let
plant a seed and let's not get too much into it. Let's plant a seed though and let people think about it with this redistricting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but let's just plant the seed and we'll see where that goes.
you're gonna get me in trouble. So we can all agree that currently Bismarck, Fargo, and Grand Forks have the largest voices in the legislative assembly. Nobody
Correct.
can argue that, correct?
Right.
And it feels like many of our small districts are being ignored. And I'm not saying that they're small in size, I'm saying they're small in population because how many counties does District 2 cover?
District 2?
Yeah.
4, I do believe.
Okay. So 4 counties.
Williams. Gosh. Well,
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
I have my map here.
But you're not the only one. You look at District 6. District 6 is another 3-4
Yeah.
counties that touches on. District 8 touches on 3-4 counties, including parts of Burley.
Yeah.
But right now, I think the law says that we can have a maximum of 51 districts, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You want something good to petition on, Shilo? Let's petition and change that to 53. And then we literally change each district to each county. No more gerrymandering party lines, no more changing stuff, no more doing any of that. Now, the argument that you get is, well, how do you fix the population issue?
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Why don't we look to our own nation's capital for that? So for each population bump above X amount, they get another House member for, say, up to a 5 max total. At that point, it's viable. It eliminates all the power from 3 cities. It puts the voices back into local counties. And it's really not out of an idea. Will it ever happen? Probably not. Do I think it should happen? We got to figure out something because you look at this last year in 22. I mean, I talked to a lot of people that didn't know where they were supposed to vote or who their reps were.
Yeah.
And
That's common.
And you look right in here in Bismarck where that district line is between 8 and 47. I mean, it runs right through the middle of Hogue Island, I believe. Mm-hmm. So if You're on the north side, you're an 8. You're on the south side, you're on 47. I mean, unless you go and confirm your address with the Secretary of State site. And even out in Fargo, we had the different Fargo school districts where people were getting the wrong ballots based on their address.
That even happened here, even right here in Ray.
So it's a simple solution. Yeah, it's going to add more seats to the House chamber, but then it'll still be balanced. You have 53 senators representing 53 counties.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a voice of reason to me.
Yep. I like it. Yeah, when we were talking about this, and I you kind of made me think about it, and it's like, yeah, why aren't the districts just your normal counties, So that would be that'd be something to look into.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we
but
already have one of the largest legislative assemblies, really, I think, in the country. When you look at our legislators that are seated per capita, I mean, even if you look at the state convention, 3 towns decided who was going to be chair at the state convention. 3 towns decided who was going to be the endorsed candidate for Senate at the state convention.
yeah. Is that how it is in other states, Crystal asked?
Some of them are like crazy. Like you look at California, I think they have like a third the number of representatives we do.
Really?
Somebody was saying I should look at California because of that, and I haven't had a chance to. But even like Hawaii, how many districts did they have in Hawaii? Do you remember? I think Sheila had mentioned that.
No, I don't. I'd have to go back and look.
But yeah,
I don't remember.
The population per capita, we have the lowest representation in Washington, but the highest representation on a state level.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
But
I remember in 15 when Governor Burgum was running for the first time, that was one of the promises, is that he was going to cut big government down, and he's grown it the most. So,
well, yeah, I mean, other than Sanford, isn't the state of North Dakota the largest employer in the state?
yep. How does that work?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So yeah, I mean, call the idea crazy, but put some thought into it. It's like when we had Jason on talking about the legislative housing right on the campus. Why pay a per diem when we can actually put on-site housing with access to the Capitol, with Capitol security there?
Yeah.
Long term, it should pay itself off pretty quickly, especially since you do have so many representatives from Bismarck-Mandan that don't need that housing allowance, where you can rent it out to aides or whatever else during session. But at the same point, yeah, they're going to have that upfront expense. But if you listen to the governor, we got money laying around, so why not?
Yeah.
I'm not going to let them live that down anytime soon. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
We got
I don't think any of us are, but
yeah.
No, I don't think any of us are. That's for sure. So, yeah.
Did you see the state auditor's office released the audit on Lincoln here? I haven't had a chance to look through that, but it looks like there's some issues out there too.
The city of Lincoln?
Yep.
Yeah.
That Josh and his team have found. So I think it was 3 separate bienniums that they looked at.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well,
Shilo.
Yeah, I hear you. So, well, with that being said, I guess we're gonna kind of keep her short and sweet tonight. Like I said, we got a big show on Friday coming. Michael Coachman will be on with us with Lydia Gasly. They're the folks that are heading up the Election Integrity Act petition, and so we'll have a conversation with them again and get some answers to some questions that we've been asking and hopefully get everything ironed out. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Tuesday we have, what was his name?
Mark Hare.
Mark Hare. I knew his last name was Hare. I couldn't remember what his first name is. So
And that's Center for Self-Governance.
okay, and he'll be with us on a week from today then. So
Yep.
so with that, I guess I don't really have anything else. Oh, the mypillow.com. Of course, with Christmas going on and stuff like that, the Black Friday sales, they still got sales going on. So if you use our promo code HTD, we'd definitely appreciate it. You guys can get yourself some good stuff there. They've got obviously the My Pillow 2.0 pillows now that Mike has got out, as well as they've got sheets, they've got towels. I've been getting some good reviews on towels. I'm gonna get some for us here for Christmas. I think that's what my wife and I are gonna get each other is towels. So we've been looking at our towels, and it's been a while. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
so
get some
I saw
towels.
something about ours the other day too.
Yeah. And I am gonna get a mattress too. Do you know that they sell a mattress and they actually send it to you in a box? Like when I was down there in Missouri, they were showing how they send those mattresses in boxes. So it was pretty neat to see. But I've heard pretty good reviews on them, and so we're gonna get a mattress as well, and we'll go from there. And then my coffee, that's not on mypillow.com. You can go to mystore.com and get the coffee. And I can tell you, it is great. It is great. I had it down there in Missouri. I'm getting some for up here. I like that coffee. So at any rate, if you guys go there and use our promo code works for both sites, mypillow.com and mystore.com.
Is QX still running the promotion with the keyboard bundle, or is that over?
That I do not know for sure. I didn't look tonight. They were running a Black Friday special. So if you go to qx.tv, we also have a customer code there of HTD. You can get some money off on a QX box. And we're actually going to have Gavin on here. I was going to try and get him from a week from Friday. So maybe we'll see if you're not going to be on. Maybe we'll do it on Tuesday. Then we can talk off camera on that. But Gavin will be on again because they've got some more stuff coming out with the keyboards and the chats and messaging apps and stuff. So they're really growing that product, and it's going to be a good deal. If you're worried about being watched and all that good stuff, I encourage you to look into QX for your TV, and it's just going to expand into phones and everything else. So you can go to qx.tv and check them out, and you can use our customer code of HTD there as well. So, but I guess that's all I have for you folks. Thanks for watching. Marv, it's been a pleasure.
Yep.
We'll see you on Friday with Michael Coachman and Lydia Gessley.
Good night.